Hello everyone, welcome to Beyond the Spectrum podcast, a show that is brought to you from Bloom Garden Schools, which is a leading institution for learning, therapy and research for persons with special needs.
Screen is not only TV. Yes. They also have phones. Yes. They have a 12-year-old has a phone, a 5-year-old has a phone, they have tablets and sort of that. So it's there for them. It's not that they have locked them. For me, the TV was usually locked.
You cannot change some things as fast as you'll want to change. So sometimes you have to go at the pace of the learner, because if you push him, frustration will come in and learning will not happen.
Hello everyone, welcome to Beyond the Spectrum podcast, a show that is brought to you from Bloom Garden Schools, which is a leading institution for learning, therapy and research for persons with special needs. Yet again, welcome to our other episode. I am so excited to be here with this wonderful set of panelists who are special needs education consultants. It's actually an honor and a privilege to have you here on board. From my far right is Madam Wangare Catherine, pleasure to have you here. Here is Madam Natalie Ahao, who is a special needs educator as well. Pleasure to have you here. And on my left is Dorcas Mumo, who is also a special needs educator, education consultant. And without a doubt, I am your host, Nyawade Ronald, an occupational therapist by profession. And it's always a joy to have you here on board with us. So today we're going to do things differently as a team. We have been able to review your concerns, your comments, and we are here for quite a beautiful discussion. I'm sure you are going to actually love this. So the rules of today's discussion is that we are going to have members of this team pick up papers that have questions that have come from you, our viewers, and particularly respond to that. It's going to be more of a discussion, and I am pretty sure you don't want to miss that. Without a doubt, allow me to ask Madam Wangare, if you do not mind, to just please go on and pick the first paper. Yeah, and I am pretty sure you are all waiting for what that kind of a question would be like.
Yes. So my question is, what is virtual acquired autism and how does it happen? That is my first question. I know there are several questions below it, but let us first deal with what is virtually acquired autism. Yeah, so I know the last time we talked about autism as a neurodevelopmental disorder, but now we have something called virtual. So this one is more acquired just because of our lifestyles. It matters the screen time, and screen time meaning the computers, the tablets, the phones. What we love most, television, Cocomelon. Yeah, so that is actually what we are talking about, the virtually acquired autism. Yeah. And they are also asking how does it happen. Dorcas, you might also help me in that matter.
Yeah, sure. So virtually acquired autism, I believe, from what we have seen, sometimes we have clients that have the typical kind of autism, and then there are those that come with the symptoms of the virtually acquired autism. And the question is, how does it happen? So from my point of view, I believe it happens when the child is exposed to too much screen time, and they just start what do we call it? Like showing these other symptoms of the other autism. Like you see, they have social deficits, they have delayed communication. I believe that's it.
That's right, Dorcas. Allow me to build on whatever you people have just said, steal some of your views. Because I think when Wangari was reading the question, it also struck my mind that somehow most people in our day-to-day lives today feel that their kids have, in some instances, gotten autism from that perspective. It's good that the experts out here are speaking about it, but virtual autism is actually a reality. Yeah, so despite the fact that it has, I think the main difference comes in that we have like a cause, like there's a causative factor that brings it up as compared to the one that would say is neurodevelopmental, as we have been able to discuss in our previous episodes. So from a point of, as Wangari says it, there's a lot of screen time and zero touch with reality. So all the life my kid knows is just the screen time. That is their learning, that is their entertainment, that is absolutely their everything, and they are below, say, the ages of 0 to 5, which in most cases, practically speaking, in terms of development, we know that that is the period when this child is supposed to develop fully and wholly. But now, if it's only one segment that is being nurtured, we're only getting input from the visual sense and no touch of reality with the others, then
So does it mean watching TV is wrong?
Maybe I could give a touch on that. So like currently, the virtual autism is under study. It's not something that they have said that this is what causes virtual autism, or is it virtual autism a diagnosis? So it's not yet. We cannot say it's a diagnosis. Remember, if you do a poor diagnosis, you're going to affect the treatment of this child. So you have to have a precise diagnosis. That's what we need to understand and know out there. Then, so how does this happen? Is screen time harmful? With my perspective, I would say that excessive screen time is harmful to anyone or to a child, especially to a child, because this child, 0 to 5 years or 0 to 6 years, that's the development stage. That's where we are looking at the delays in development. And if you're exposing this child to too much screen or excessive screen, there are factors that will hinder brain development. And how is this? When you're having too much screen, even as adults, sometimes you're watching this series and you're like, I'll stop at this point, and you're like, I'll continue. Yes. So there's a blue light which hinders or which interferes with the sleep hormone, which makes you to stay awake. And remember, this is a child developing, and this sleep and rest is very important to the brain development. So that's how it affects different parts of the brain. For example, language or social, because the brain, there are parts that are for language and there are parts for social skills. So if this part of brain is interfered with, imagine what will happen. So that's where this is coming from.
I think when Natalie, you were giving feedback, something caught my attention on how we are actually in these times we are living in. We are so focused on knowing the cause, something that most of the time we do not advocate for. Because you see, we advocate for that we're able to intervene. It's good to know the cause. It's good to know that probably this might have come here, but as you have put it well, it is not like a diagnosis that you can easily get in DSM-5 now, for example, because there's still a lot of research ongoing. But you see, many people in these times would tend, and especially for babies born during the coronavirus times, many people will be like, I think my child got autism as a result of that particular period of time. But it shouldn't like stop there. Like you see, there's a reason as to why you're saying there's autistic-like symptoms. There are autistic-like symptoms, and is there hope for intervention? I think that is the discussion we need to even keep on building as we think about the whole aspect of just virtual autism. Is it possible that I'm exposing my child to just a lot of screen time, or it is actually neurodevelopmental, because it's one of the same thing. The causes are different.
But in our world, the world we are living, The only way to pass time nowadays is the screens.
screen,
So now what do we do?
But you know, it's a mistake. It shouldn't be the only way.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And it's total. I would say it's totally understandable, especially for the parents, because you can find that the parents are like super busy with work and like so much. And in their defense, they're like, if I don't do this, then how am I going to be able to provide for this child? So you find that a parent or a nanny that is hired to take care of the child, they just put the TV on or give them the tablet and like go and continue with their business, but they can't see like what the harm they are bringing to the child. Yeah, because they don't have this knowledge of what can happen to the child with the excess screen time.
No, I think we have a cost to carry, everyone.
Yeah.
Because you see, at the end of the day, I know we are in an economical time where we are chasing a lot of things, chasing money and all this, and at the same time we want to become parents. You see, you know, apart from the fact that we are talking about autism and virtual autism, truth be told, a lot of screen time delays a number of other things.
Yes.
Yet, as Natalie would also just highlight the same, cognitively there are things that are affected. Learning with reality, socially there are things that are affected. So if I am so pro looking for money, I should be willing to pro hire a nanny that understands that she needs to fully engage with my child for other aspects to be able to develop. If not, let me get a therapist who will be there. Because anyway, what is the money for? I mean,
Are you working so hard then?
And maybe take a few steps back. You know, traditionally, you know, we used to sit, not we, maybe some other people used to sit around a fireplace and, you know, they converse on how the day was, which again, we are not able to do with our children. So we need to have time to talk to our kids for just communication in the house, time to take them out, play, a walk. So that we build the social skills, the play skills, which again will be affected if a child is said to have the virtually acquired autism. So we need to go back in time.
I think I can't agree with you, Angaria, father. Because you see, in previous days, as you put it, some of these things were so automatic. So whatever we have done, we have come in and done the automatic and introduced technology. So there's more of technological exposure in that for us to get back to normal development or the development that is accommodating all other areas, we have to stop one area, like stop. You know, when I was growing up, I used to watch TV only like for 2 or 3 hours in the evening with my parents when we are watching. But nowadays, there are kids who, if you're not careful with your caregivers, they would watch TV the entire day.
Like they wake up to eat, they sleep to eat, because someone doesn't just want, you know, a lot of work of having to engage the kid. Because, sure.
And remember, screen is not only TV.
Yes.
They also have phones. They have a 12-year-old has a phone, a 5-year-old has a phone, they have tablets and sort of that. So it's there for them. It's not that they have locked them. For me, the TV was usually locked in the bedroom, right? Yes. And so when we were growing up, you could even see, we even played this Harusi. Remember, yes, Chakalongo, and all this is pretend play, and it's building your language, it's building you cognitively, your problem solving. You see, what if the net it gets torn and you are in the aisle? You'll see someone try to take grass and tie the net. You see, so those times people are really learning. But right now it's technology. But how do we use this technology in a more effective way to help these children?
I think some of the things that should be considered, like when we are talking about virtual autism, is what can we do to help the situation? Because technology is here to stay. So what can be done
and
to help the parents?
every day we are advancing even more.
Exactly. And we cannot say that we are going to deny the kids technology entirely. So what can actually be done? And I was thinking, like, interacting with the kids could be one of the ways of helping the situation. You could be watching a cartoon with a kid and you're engaging with them, like what is happening. You could be trying to do the actions they are doing with the kid, you see. That way you're watching and you're also interacting, the kid is learning.
Yeah, you know, for a long time I have been loving what we have been advocating for even in Bloom, because you see, the fact is now an example of the virtual autism that occurs when a parent brings you their child. There's a lot of programming and unprogramming we need to do, because you see, whatever has been there traditionally is people believe I'm taking my child to a therapist, a speech and language therapist, a special needs educator or consultant, and blah blah blah. They're going to fix the deficits, and they forget that this is for all of us to be able to do. It is more collaborative. So you get a child behaves differently when they are with the professionals. When they get home, because the parents have not also adjusted again, they get themselves in the same loop. So it is more of, as we talk about virtual autism, it is more of all of us involved, and even in the care of all our kids as involved, we need to ensure that all of us are able to engage. Like she mentioned pretense play. These were very automatic when we were young. I mean, we used to do these things. Nowadays, you have to train a child to be able to do these things and engage them in these things. And there will be a whole issue if I'm able to do them, and you as a parent, even peekaboo with your child, you are unable to do it, then the results will not be consistent as expected.
And again, in the modern world, you know, we are living in apartments where it's you and your child and, you know, and your nanny. So meaning in such a situation, if you're able also to get a play school as early as the child learns how to walk, well and good. Because, you know, sometimes we can put the blame on the nanny doing a lot of screen time. But again, the blame is not on the nanny. She still has to do some chores in the house. And the only way the child will sit is through the screens, any type of screen. And, you know, she's able to do whatever is supposed. Again, it's not the mom's or the parents' fault, because we need to work. We need to eat.
Things are moving down. You know, the economy is here with us.
Things are going up and up. There's not going down. So meaning, so limited screen time will work. In a situation like what we've talked about, a school as early
as possible.
As possible, even if it's a few hours. There are those who do 2 hours and they're back in the house. So that, and we will be able to sort some issues.
And I think some parents would be wondering, like when we are talking about limited screen time, what exactly is, because for some, the kids are on the TV or the tablet for like the whole day, whenever they are eating, whenever they are walking around the house, they are on the tablet. So what is limited screen time?
I know there are recommendations for, there's various recommendations for at most 3 hours of everything, you know, 1 hour. But the whole point is your kid needs to be engaged actively in their day-to-day business. These always are quite an issue, and especially the technology, but I know we can spend all the time here, Wangari. I don't know if we are done with...
I think we are done with mine.
Perfect. Miss Natalie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So our next question is, what do you love more about working in an institution that cares for children with autism?
It's quite personal.
Yes, very personal. Yeah.
Wow.
And we have a couple like those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Start from goodness.
You're looking at me. What do you love about working with kids with the spectrum? Well, I think the first one for me, I will say something that came to me when I first started working with kids on the spectrum. It's the exposure. Because when you're out here, sometimes you do not understand what is going on until you get on the ground. For me, I'm going to talk about my experience from the first day when I got to start working with kids on the spectrum, because I believed, at first I didn't know, like, I didn't understand kids on the spectrum as well as I do right now. And I believe that that's one of the advantages that I got as a result of coming to work with kids on the spectrum. You get to the ground and you get to see the symptoms, like in in their raw form, manifesting. And you get to understand, because sometimes you read things from the book, that's theory. And then there's the practical part of it, trying to get this thing to work for the children. And you sometimes you come to realize some things do not work entirely, and you have to think, you have to become creative and look for ways that are going to be accommodative for the kids. Yeah.
Well, several years ago, guys, when I was coming from campus, I was so ambitious and passionate about achieving results, and this I say it again and again. I mean, I was coming from campus backed with enough theoretical information to fix issues, you know, to fix a lot of things, and I was very ready for the world. And in hospital setups, in most cases you just get 3-4 autistic kids and they go away. Wait until I got to an institution where autism is the business of the day. Like 90% of what I do is to do with autistic kids. And one thing I have learned is that failure is not fatal, and that doing it once may never be enough. So I have to do it again and again and again. How that has impacted my life, you really don't want to hear that. But I can assure you for a fact that it's always refreshing each and every single day that you can actually work on a result consistently and achieve it. Sometimes you may not be able to get it in that 2 weeks, in that 1 week, but the consistency required as far as handling kids with autism is required can never leave you the same. And that to me has been something for my life.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, it's a lot, but I'll just say just one. I know you come in the morning and you tell someone, hey, good morning, and they are saying, yay! Your day is already made. Yes. Yeah, and for me, that's an achievement in perspective that, he said hi. Yeah, so mostly the small steps on them achieving, we rejoice even when the child sits for 5 minutes. Sure. Yeah, which again, in a normal setup, it would be nothing. Yeah, and even getting a hug in the morning. Yeah, it's usually a blessing.
Just calling them and seeing them turn like they have heard you.
So it's usually a blessing, and that is why we love what we do, and we'll do it even in future. Sure. Yeah.
Okay. As for me,
The quarter of the question.
yes. Okay. And this institution is amazing. All of us, we are talking about Bloom Gardens Autism Academy. Yeah. And I will say, coming here, I will say it has made me great. And I think I've learned, mostly what I've learned is patience. You really need to be patient. Yeah. In order for you just for a child to pick this cup, it's patience. And in my mind, there is a learner who always come, when I say patience, he always come to my head. So this boy really made my patience to, what can I say? Like, I'm very patient. I'm patient 100%. I can say that as of now. And then again, we come to the real world and say, now out of autism. And when you go out there, you also need this patience. You don't need to, something has not occurred well, you are tempered and no. So this patience, again, brings in positivity, which are quite good virtues that I've learned since I've started working in such an institution. And I could say, yes, it's amazing. Yeah.
And again, what we are taught in school is different from what we find.
Yeah.
We are told characteristics. They learn differently. Yeah. But when you come, it's very different. You become a researcher. You become a doctor. You become many professionals, professions in one.
You become a mother.
Absolutely.
It's almost like whether you like it or not, you must grow every day. Yeah.
I think if there's one thing we underestimate is how beautiful it is to work in a support system that believes in what it does. And Bloom has been able to offer such kind of a platform.
So apart from you learning or getting any virtues working with these kids. So is there any challenge that you've had while working with these kids?
Sometimes we get used in doing things good enough until we feel like we do not have dislikes and challenges. But of course, they are always there, without a doubt. Yeah. The fact that some things cannot be easily replicated from home many a times is always poses as a challenge. As just borrowing from the previous discussion, we are living in a world where people are very busy, and sometimes our parents, again, we understand our parents bank a lot on their support team at home to be able to help their kids achieve some things, and in most cases it is not always the same. So you notice you have worked on things on this other side, and you expect that even from home, as you have documented, a parent can easily follow even through that in the weekend, and it is not always the case. So you notice on Monday you must start again for the first 5 minutes to review, or 10 minutes to review where you are, as you build on things that have already actually been lost. You know, that is always something.
Maybe for me, a challenge is usually you trying to achieve a goal that a child you've set. And you know, it's a hard one, because again, it's dependent again on the learner. But now there's someone behind me pushing me. Hey, my child has not yet achieved this and this. They're doing it might be in a good way, but you know, sometimes some things you cannot help. You cannot change some things as fast as you'll want to change. So sometimes you have to go at the pace of the learner, because if you push him, frustration will come in and learning will not happen. I
also feel that, it's true. And like when you're talking about the learners, I mentioned like one of my biggest challenges that I feel like really challenging is when the kid cannot communicate their needs, or maybe when they have a problem. You find like a kid is coming in the morning, they cannot talk about, sometimes you find that they are the verbal ones who can communicate and express themselves if maybe their head is aching or they're not feeling okay. And then there are those that cannot communicate totally, whether it's by gestures or by cards or whatever means of communication. They're not able to express themselves totally. So they're just there, they are having meltdowns, or they're just emotional, and you're wondering, what do I do with you? How can I help you? So now it's also torturing you in the head, because the cries are getting too much into your head, and you want to help them, but you don't know how to help them.
Because in most cases you have tried all the things you can think about. And that's something.
And it's still not helping.
The main challenge for me, I would say, is positivity. As for me, I'm a very positive person. I don't even in my life, I don't always see negative as a word for me. So how does this positivity comes in as a challenge in my daily life with these kids? It's because I will see they are going to do it. If they don't do it, now it becomes a problem to me. And as a matter of fact, if it gets into my head, I even drink them. That's the problem I have. That's the only challenge I have. But with time, I'm kind of learning it is a step. Yes, we need to get there, but we have to go in those baby steps so as to achieve these goals, these target behaviors that we are holding for.
That challenge is serious. It can take you down.
It becomes a personal problem.
It becomes a personal problem.
So as we go on, will you advocate for a special school or a regular school for these children?
There are reasons for any. It's good to start from there. I know we have normal and regular schools, if you're able to use the word regular, because again, all schools are normal schools. Could probably say regular according to a Kenyan context, and special schools. Even the mainstream nowadays, they have brought in integrated and everything. So think it's good to answer it in terms of needs. It would do you no good to put a child with, I know nowadays most professionals do not diagnose a condition like autism based on severity. They just tell you your child is in the spectrum. So it's you to figure out where. So if they tell you your child is in the spectrum, is it mild, is it moderate, is it severe? So majority of people nowadays actually do not tell you that this is a severe case. And so based on how you see your child, based on how an assessment team now, for example, informs you, because it's good to visit a team that understands what they do, and they're able to tell you, based on the needs we see in this child, clearly we can tell that it will be very hard for them to thrive in a regular kind of environment, because they need adequate support to be able to achieve the goals that we want them to be able to achieve. All these schools are good, as a matter of fact, but you should be asking yourself the same question I've already spoken of. Is it helping your child to achieve the desired targets? Or else you'd put your child who is severe in the spectrum in a normal school or a regular school for that effect, and in the first year they're still in grade 1. Right now you're using CBC in most schools. In the second year they're still in grade 1. So the teachers end up now starting to push them based on either age or pleasing you as a parent, so that you see your child has moved from one class to the other. A special school instead would enable you to understand, these are the capabilities of my child. Now we are working on A, B, C, and D. Your child has been able to achieve. Let's move them to this next segment. And now with a lot of curriculums that are able to adjust and fit in the child's needs, you're able to get much more for your kid as compared to the other side. So are you doing the harm? That's the question.
Maybe I'll also add to whatever you're talking about. You said severity of the need. It's good for parents sometimes to accept that there are kids who cannot learn in a regular class, as they call it, because of how severe their condition is. But there are those who can learn in a regular setup with just minimal accommodations. And then there are those who will need more accommodations for them to be able to, again, to learn. So again, that one, you wouldn't expect him to be in a regular setup. And then there is also that one who would need adapted methodologies, technology, which again are not in the mainstream or the regular setup. And special needs, I know there's usually a controversy about special need or regular. But considerations, mostly it's how the need is.
Arises.
And then the other one is usually the good thing with special needs schools is now the therapies, you'll find everything. The therapies, you'll find them in school. You'll find a specialized curriculum tailored for the child. So, whereas in a regular, the curriculum is a general curriculum. And kids will move from one class to another, and there are subjects which again the child might not be able to get even after a lot of teaching and everything. But in a special school, there'll be that differentiated instruction specifically for your child, meaning he will learn whatever he's able to learn, and again his pace. A lot of research will be done on how he can learn, a lot of learning materials, both the visual aids, more practical, which again are usually more helpful for learners with autism. But again, the decision still comes back to the parent. You need to visit the both setups. A regular setup, before you take your child to that setup, check on the number of kids in a class. Is your child able to learn in a class that has many kids? If they are not, you need also to make a decision in matters to that. Because the special schools, let me also phrase our school, has our biggest class has 8 pupils in a class with so many teachers. So the one-on-one interaction is quite high. So learning will happen. And there is no that progression because you are your age, you're 14 now, go to the next class. No, you move because you have achieved some milestones.
Yeah, I think that's very informative. And just to build up on it, because you guys have already exhausted on it, I feel that way. It's just to say that the parent should be very keen, like according to the DSM-5, consider where your child, what level are they on. And then from there, you can look at their needs, because every kid on the spectrum has their own specific needs and unique ones. So look at their needs, look at what they're going to, are they going to be, the way Ms. Wangari is saying, are they going to get the help that they actually need in the mainstream setup compared to the special needs education setup? If you feel that they can do a one-to-many setup and still get the help that they need, then go ahead and do it, as long as they are getting the help that they need, especially with the therapies.
So those are great views, great comments. And as for me, I would just say that I really love that our government gets to a place whereby all individual, at least maybe 70 to 80%, at least they know what is special needs education. The moment at least a number of, or countrywide, not only because right now Nairobi is the hot cake. Only a lot of people know that Nairobi is where I'll get a speech therapist, Nairobi is where I'll get an OT, Nairobi is where I'll get an individual education program. No, we don't want it to be like that. We would love that even people who are in Lodwar have more of these people, because even in Lodwar or in Kakamega, people know that there is something like this. So at least in the coming years, let's have something of the sort. This again goes out to the government, whereby yes, most of the people are like trained in this. For example, special needs. In my class, we're like over 4,000. So where are these people gone? Where are they going? Some people will be like, oh, let me go out. You see, that is already a skill gone. So let's make our country resourceful, in that all parts of the country gets what we are doing. And that it will make it easier, and it will create more awareness. Just like education is for everyone. Let's make it our problem and make that special needs education is for all of us. Not only for those special kids or special parents.
And also the notion of special schools being, there's, a while back, if you would visit special schools, children will just sit and, at the end of the day, they go home.
More of a caregiving unit.
Yes, I know those days are gone. Learning happens still in special needs schools. So no one should tell you otherwise.
I think that is why parents need to be very intentional when they look for schools. I think it's also good to go and mark do these schools meet your criteria? I mean, there's a lot we do nowadays with kids with special needs. So if it's just a caregiving and they call themselves a school, then there might be some other things that need to be added in that.
Like consider the teaching methods.
Yes. We're done.
Are we done really? We are not done.
From your list. From your list, we are done.
We're not done yet. So any words of encouragement that you love to give that parent or caregiver? Just any word of encouragement.
Well, I think I would go first. There's one that is coming to mind, and this is coming to mind after I've spoken about the emotional torture that we are going through with the students. It's like to encourage the parents and tell them we are in this together. The same way you're feeling that what do we call it? That challenge when you see like your kid is not making progress, or you feel that maybe it's taking too long for them. Even us, we are feeling it. And we are looking for every way possible. And this is just to encourage the parents to let them know that however much they feel that their kids are taking too long to achieve even the smallest milestones, we are doing the most that we can, especially in the special education setups. We are doing the most that we can because we also want to see those milestones being achieved. It's always our joy when we see them achieve something.
Yeah. And I think what I can say is every single child is special. And the fact that you as a parent might be having a child with a special needs, just an encouragement to you that every single result then matters. Because as a parent, yours is not to just let the kids be and continue leaving them in that loop where they are unable to do anything. We are living in times when there's opportunity for a lot of things to be done as far as intervening is concerned. So appreciate each and every milestone that your child is able to achieve. Learn in the process, because special needs kids come with a lot of learning. They're able to teach you a lot of things that probably you wouldn't have been able to learn when you just had the normal and typical kids. So even as you stick in that loop, appreciate those milestones that they achieve, and just be consistent in the intervention process and trust the process. It might take a little bit longer in some instances, but without a doubt, with our intervention, even as a team in Bloom, we know that at the end of it all, there's always some light. So stick in there, and you never know what this child is gonna bring your way, because there are kids out here who have done marvelous things even with special needs, and that has been a turning point for the entire family, a learning lesson for the entire of the family. And yes, let's take the lessons and grow with them.
So mine is just saying research. Do a lot of research and matters autism, the medication, therapies, anything. But before again going for anything that is recommended, to also talk to some people before you decide this one will work. I know there are so many things happening outside there. Some will say it's witchcraft. Some will say you need some holy water. But again, it all comes back to you. Before making your child do something, anything, medication, anything, prayer-wise, consult, ask around, just know what you're going for. Maybe, and the other one is what we do is we support intervention. If you're withdrawing a child from us, it's also very good to ask what can I do, and what support can I also still do it at home. Is it the right time to withdraw? Is it and if I withdraw, how can I support wherever maybe I'm going? Because sometimes circumstances may lead you not to be maybe in Bloom. But so when you're out there, ask for what therapy will work. Is this therapy going to work? There are so many doctors out there who will say this will work, but there are those who are looking for money, money-oriented people. So it's also always very good to ask, and ask the right person.
Then, to add on that, this word is very simple: positivity. In other contexts, it may not make sense, but in our context, I think it makes much sense. So be very positive and make it your problem. So for example, you are building a house. That house will be your problem, and you'll make sure that house is built and it is very productive to you. So this is your child. Make him your problem, persistence, and everything you have. Even if it is that small step that you are looking forward to, without any positive energy, I think you might not get there. But then again, there are days that you are low. We cannot also forgo about that. But then again, with these kids, it's just persistent, positivity, and more action. So this will be a great of help to both the teachers and the child themselves. Yeah.
And I feel it's also important to say that when we are building on the positivity energy thing, it's important to mention consistency to the parents, for them to understand that as much as you want things to change and you're being positive about it, you have to remain consistent with whatever you're doing. If you're doing, for instance, toilet training and you've started like a procedure of how you're going to be doing it, you make sure you remain on that procedure consistently for a number of days until the child gets it. Or if it's learning or whatever it is that you're teaching them, you make sure that you remain consistent with it until they get it to the end. Do not be, you may be tempted to change the course of how you're doing things if you see, which is okay, if you see that it's not working, but sometimes we give it time, right? To see whether it's going to work. So consistency.
So you mean don't give up?
Yes.
No giving
No
up.
giving
Keep
up.
pushing, keep pushing.
Well, that was quite interesting, quite a useful discussion to have. And I think picking it up from what all of you have been able to share and the beautiful discussion you have had, indeed there's a lot to say as far as these things are actually concerned. Actually, for today, our viewers will allow us to stop there because there is actually a lot of soup beyond just what we have already shared. And we will be coming back bigger, better, with more information, just with a part 2 of what we have already started. Please watch out for the same. In case you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our website at Bloom Garden Schools. You can be specific, search out from Bloom Garden Autism Academy, Bloom Garden International School, or Bloom Garden Occupational Training Center on your website, and you'll be able to get more information about us. See you in the next video.